All right, guys. So last week we started our new unit on just the different elements of a book, and we really focused on setting, right? Who can remember some of the settings from the books we read last week? Yeah, we had Grandma's house, we had the school, yeah, the rainforest in our science class, and some books they have multiple settings throughout the story, right? This week we're going to be talking about characters because every book has a character, and sometimes those characters might be people. Sometimes they're talking animals or insects. I've even read a book of talking furniture. It's like a character could be anything, it can be as creative as you want it to be. And out of all the books that you've read, are all the characters always the same? No, they're always different, right? They like different things, they do different things, they say different things, and it's all characters. They're all different, and so we describe characters in different ways, and we call these things character traits. I'm going to write that down because as we talk about characters this week, we're going to be really focusing on character traits. Character traits are how we describe our characters, but they're also how we describe ourselves in the real world. So I have traits and you have traits. So I want you to think about your mom, your dad, your grandma, grandpa, uncle, aunt, someone that takes care of you. How would you describe them? Your mom is nice. Like nice. What's another word we could use for nice? How about friendly? Yes. So next time you want to tell your mom she's not just like you're really friendly. Let's get one more before we start. Your dad is funny. I think funny is great trait to have. I like to think I'm funny. What's a let's see if we come up with another word for funny too. Silly, because your dad is silly, does silly things. What about amusing? Amusing, yeah, amusing means funny. They amuse you. They're amusing. So next time you tell your dad like you're funny, he's like you're amusing. Make like really impress him with that. So we have a book today. It's called Remarkably You. It is a really good book, and it has so many different traits on here. I counted 33, and I think the last time I was reading it, I found one I missed. So there's probably more than 33. And so we're only going to read the first half of the book. But what I want you to do is I want you all have whiteboards. I want you to write down any of the traits that you hear. And you don't have to write all of them, maybe just two or three. If you don't know what it means, you still write it down. If you don't know how to spell it, just sound spell it as best as you can. And if you don't want to write it down, maybe you just want to remember it. Maybe you think writing it down will distract you. That's okay too. Then you can share at the end. That sound good? All right. So the book is called Remarkably You. It was written by Pat Miller and it's illustrated by Patricia Spartan. All right, here we go. You might be bold. You might be loud, leading parades, drawing a crowd. You might be timid. You might be shy, quietly watching your neighbors go by. You might be small, one tiny sprout, learning new things when you're out and about. You might be big, practically grown, coming and going with friends of your own. No matter your volume, your age, or your size, you have the power to be a surprise. You have the know how, you're savvy and smart. You could change the world. Are you willing to start? Don't sit on the sidelines. Be part of the fray. Go after your passions a little each day. Find what needs fixing, repair what you can, then choose a new problem and do it again. Perhaps you're uncertain, not sure what to do. Just look for the moments that let you be you. Like maybe you're funny or bookish, or fast, or maybe you're always decidedly last. Perhaps you like counting, or drawing all day, or finding invisible dragons to slay. Wow. This is where we're going to stop. I have already heard so many traits. Someone raise their hand, share one of the traits that you heard. Bold. Yeah, that was the very first one we heard, right? So I'm going to write bold. What does bold mean? What does bold mean? Bold means brave. Who thinks they're bold and brave? Yeah, so that's a good one. So we're gonna have brave. We're gonna have brave on there too. What else did we hear? You heard fast, yeah. I also say quick. Shy. Who in here is shy? Sometimes I'm shy, so sometimes I guess that's a trait that I have, but not always. It said maybe you're shy, or you may be shy. Right before that, it said you may be timid. Who heard the word timid? Yeah, let's write that word down. Timid. That's a good word. What does timid mean? Timid means the same thing as shy. So next time if you feel shy, you should think I feel timid, and that's okay. That's okay feeling. Yeah, funny. Yeah, and we already talked about funny. We've written those down. Um, who heard the word savvy? Yeah, savvy. It said you're savvy and smart. Yeah, so it's kind of like timid and shy. Savvy and smart are the same thing. So let's add smart. Yeah, so savvy's a really good word. I like to think I'm pretty savvy. What else did we hear? Loud. What were some of the things that they like to do? Someone liked to count. Yeah, so like to count. That's a character trait. You like counting. And there was someone that liked, yeah, to draw. Yeah, so it's not always an adjective. It could be something that we like to do. That's a trait of ours. I like to write. I'm a writer. That's a trait of mine. And then I also heard the word uncertain. Who knows what uncertain means? Yeah, so uncertain is like you're not sure. And maybe you're working on a project and you're just not sure. And that's just a trait you have at that moment. Yeah, so uncertain. Um, let's look at this picture for a second. Now we know it says finding invisible dragons to slay. So the text doesn't really give us a character trait. And so it's important to know text is not always going to give us a character trait. Sometimes you're going to have to infer it and figure it out based off of what's going on in the story. So we know what are they doing from the story? What do we know they're doing? They're slaying dragons. Are they slaying real dragons? No, they're pretending. Yeah, so they're playing. So what kind of traits would you say they have? I can think of a few. This is one's a little bit harder. We're going to do this throughout the week because there's more pages in here that have some really good traits that aren't in the text. So what I want you to think real hard, turn those brains. What kind of traits would you say they have? They're playful. That's a good one. Let's write playful. They are playful. They're very playful. One word I'm thinking, and I think a lot of you, I think all of you guys have this trait. I think you see how they're dressing up, they're pretending, they're really in the moment. I think they're being very creative. So let's write creative. I think all of you guys are creative. I've seen your work. And they're out in the woods and it's like an adventure, so maybe adventurous. Who in here thinks they're adventurous? Yeah, I'm pretty adventurous. I've been to like 20 countries. It's been a while since I've traveled, but I love adventure. I love going places by myself and just exploring. So I think that's a cool trait to have. So we're going to finish this book, but what's important to know is that we're all different. Like all of our characters are different, and we are all different. We're like the book says, we're remarkably ourselves. And so on your desk, you have a worksheet, and it is all about you, how you are remarkably you. So when you get to your desk, I want you to think real hard about your traits and what makes you remarkably you, what makes you unique, because we're all unique. And think real hard, and I want you to write those traits down, and then we're going to come back and we're going to share those with each other. Okay? All right.